Relationships can be an amazing experience. There's nothing better than having someone you love and can count on in life. But relationships can also bring massive pain. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. Just because you want a relationship doesn't mean you're ready for one. It requires responsibility, commitment, and sacrifice. You are no longer responsible for the needs, hopes, and dreams of just one person. The demands of a relationship can pull you away from other priorities in life, such as education, work, or even travel goals. In order to make a relationship work, you need to be in sync and have common values. We rarely get the relationship we want at the time that suits us. So it's important to work out if you're in a place in your life where you're ready to have one. Otherwise, you'll ultimately just waste time making yourself and your partner unhappy. So how do you know if you're actually ready to share your life with someone? In this video, I'll be covering the key signs that you probably need to work on yourself before being ready to have a fulfilling and committed relationship. Number 1. You have never spent time being single. A staggering 50% of marriages end in divorce in the US and 42% in the UK and Europe. That gives the average relationship a 50-50% chance of working out. So if you've never been single, then how do you know what you like and what you need in another person? Do you know what your core values are? Do you know what a deal breaker is and what isn't? If you don't know yourself, then how do you expect someone else to know and understand you? If you have a fear of being alone, then you need to face that fear and actually be alone for a while. There are two people and two identities in a relationship. If you are looking for someone to fill holes and fix fears, then you are taking dependency issues that can ultimately implode things further down the line into your relationship. It's important to work on getting to know who you are and what you want in life before getting into a long-term relationship. So go out, date people, make friends, and develop who you are and what you stand for first. Number 2, you lose your identity. If you lose yourself in a relationship, going all in, neglecting friends, family, and your own personal needs to serve those of the other person, then you are not ready for a deep and serious relationship. Dependence and neediness are not attractive qualities. Commitment is important, but if it comes at the expense of your own needs and identity, then this is not a healthy basis for a fulfilling and meaningful relationship. Just as your partner wants you to support and nurture their needs, you must ask for the same. Not doing so can lead to resentment later and can also create a stagnant, one-sided relationship. Your partner may lose respect and interest in you later. If you cut all ties with friends and family, then what do you have if things don't work out? Retaining your connections, dreams, and personal identity is important. There must be two people and lives in a relationship. The needs, desires, and wants of both parties must be included and supported. You are a team, not a dictatorship. Number 3, you're superficial. Do you put too much value on superficial wants and desires above the actual person? Sure, having money and houses and stuff is nice, but if you enter into a relationship to get those things, then you are not ready for a meaningful partnership. Too many date or even marry another person to elevate their status. This is a recipe for disaster. Money is the number one reason people get divorced. Any relationship built around superficial desires alone will be weak. Without similar values, desires, goals, things will quickly fall apart. Your partner may feel exploited and start to resent you. You need to at least like someone to spend a life with them. Living in a nice house with someone you don't align with will quickly become toxic and feel lonely. Number 4, you still haven't gotten over your ex yet. If you are still into your ex, then you are definitely not ready for another relationship. Sure, you can still date and have fun, but working on yourself comes first before jumping into another serious relationship. A new partner is not the answer to a broken heart. Taking baggage into another relationship isn't fair on that person. Nobody wants to be continuously compared to the ghost of your ex. It will only build resentment and frustration. Ask yourself if you're in a rebound relationship. If so, how would you like to be that person? Focus on you, try to understand what went wrong, what you need to improve, and what you expect from the next partner. You need to learn from failures to make sure you don't repeat the same mistakes. Only once you come to terms with these facts and grieve the loss of your ex will you be able to have a new, healthy, and loving relationship. Number 5, you have a type. If you always seem to date the same person, then you aren't ready for a new relationship. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over while expecting a different result. Dating people with the same traits and then wondering why things didn't work out is insanity. You need to work out why they failed. What was the breaking point or common denominator? It may be that you aren't picking people with similar goals or values to your own, but instead you're focusing on needs or superficial desires. You can have a particular look you are attracted to, but you'll need to go beyond that if a new relationship is going to work in the long term. If you can't see any pattern or reason for previous failures in a relationship, then try going on dates with people who are different to what you would normally go for. Make notes of qualities and traits that you like and don't, and you may be surprised with the answers. Understanding what you want in a relationship and the values that are important to you will help you make better decisions. Number 6, you have commitment issues. For obvious reasons, this is a big one. If you can't commit to a relationship, then how can you have one? Having commitment issues is perfectly normal, especially when young. We have so many things we want to try and do. Being alone gives you the freedom to be selfish. The question is, are you okay with being single? Or do you still want to be with someone? If this is the case, then you need to first understand where the fear comes from. What are you afraid of? What do you think you will lose? Once you answer these questions, you will be better equipped to move forward. There is someone out there for everyone. If you want to be free to travel the world and have fears that someone would hold you back, then chances are there's someone out there who wants and feels the same thing as you. Successful and meaningful relationships are based around common goals and values. If freedom and traveling is yours, then communicate that when dating and you'll find someone that feels the same. Number 7, you're desperate. Do you find yourself going from one relationship to the next, always looking for the one? Does finding a partner take up a large amount of your thoughts? Then chances are you're desperate. People can smell desperation a mile away, and it's not an attractive quality. If you're desperate, it's going to come across as needy, off-putting, and perhaps even a little scary in the extreme. If you're desperate to be in a relationship, then you really aren't ready for one. You'll make bad decisions, and most likely overwhelm that person. Focus on you, your life, goals, hobbies, and friends. Create a fulfilling life, try to become okay with being alone, and most of all, be patient. It's normally in those moments after this that the right person appears. Number 8, you have trust issues. Has a friend or partner ever broken your trust and caused you pain? Did they let you down or throw a vulnerability back in your face? Wounds leave scars. In relationships, those scars show as a lack of trust or an inability to open up and be vulnerable. If you have trust issues or wounds from other relationships in your life, then it's important that you face them before getting into a serious relationship. Simply being aware of these scars is half the battle. Do you have resentment, bitterness, anger, fear of being hurt, or total distrust of other people? Some issues, once realized, can be faced head-on. Others may require speaking to a professional. But one thing's for sure, it's easier to fix these before getting into a relationship and complicating things further. Every relationship deserves a fresh start. Number 9, you communicate badly. Communication is key to any relationship. No one can read your mind. We all have standards and values we expect other people to live up to. But guess what? Everybody's values and standards are different. If you can't communicate what you need and what you expect in a relationship, then you aren't ready for one. Many people these days communicate indirectly. They expect others to read between the lines, and then they get confused, disappointed, or angry when the other person doesn't do what they wanted. For example, they say, "I don't want anything from the shop," but are then disappointed that their partner didn't get them a chocolate bar after seeing theirs, and now feel they should have been more thoughtful to their needs. Or perhaps you ask where you'd like to go for dinner, and they say, "I don't mind, you decide." But then they don't like your choice as they didn't want pasta. These are day-to-day examples and almost laughable when you think about them. But if you aren't telling your partner clearly what you want and expect, then prepare for conflict and disappointment. Now, at the other end of the spectrum, if you communicate too directly and perhaps emotionally, then you may end up with a partner who is walking on eggshells out of fear of you exploding. So, are you ready to commit to a serious relationship? Or do you have some work to do? Which point resonated with you the most? Let me know in the comments below, and if you found value in this video, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe for more masculine insight.